Hey everybody, welcome back. Today I'm so excited because I get to help launch and introduce you guys to the newest rolling mill from Durston. You guys already know that I love my Durston rolling mills. You know that I've had a number of rolling mills here in my studio, but I definitely love my Durston. And this one is very different than anything that you've ever seen before. You'll notice here that we've got a gigantic wheel. This wheel is super heavy, and there is a reason for that, and it has kind of a very cool purpose. But also another thing I want to point out is you'll notice that the rolling mill is sitting on the front face of my bench. I do not have to have this at the end of my bench like we've normally had to do that before, because you always had to have room for your wheel or whatever else. Now this is a C130, which means that it's a combo 130. That means that our whole roller is 130 millimeters long. Now in this case, because it's the combo, that gives us a flat space of 80 millimeters. So that's going to fit all of those 2.5 inch texture plates that you have already floating around in your studio or have been looking at, which are really good to have anytime you have a rolling mill. Now some of the things that I've ever noticed about any rolling mills, you want to have a nice gear ratio. And before now, we have always said that your gear ratio should be at minimum 4:1, maybe 5:1 if you're lucky. But this guy, oh my gosh, totally blows it out of the water. But at first, what does that mean? So a 4:1 gear ratio means that you got to take and crank that handle 4 times in order for you to get 1 revolution of your wheel or your rollers here. Now, if you had a 1:1, oh, that takes so much effort. But by having a higher gear ratio, then it makes your the effort that you put into this so much better. Well, what is this? This is an astounding 50:1. Now, does that mean you have to turn this wheel 50 times to get 1 revolution of your rollers? It absolutely does. And at first I was kind of like, ooh, that's a little daunting. However, it really isn't, because watch what happens. First of all, it's a very, very smooth, easy move. But here's where it really gets cool, because it uses the inertia of that heavy wheel that I just told you about. And watch what I can do now. And now I can get it going and it will start to go through for me. Now, benefits of having that 50:1 gear ratio and a small or kind of a smoother move is that you're going to have more consistent pressure on your pieces as well. Now, I don't have to have this on here, this handle. You can if you want, but it's just as easy to roll the wheel itself. So you have a few options there. Now, it does have the wire grooves on my roller as well. There are 11 grooves on there, as well as an extension roller with 4 half-round grooves. So that gives us quite a bit that we can use when we're doing this. This is meant for square wire, but I use it in all kinds of things to taper down my metal, to prepare it for drawing down in a draw plate. So we'll have more videos on that soon. Now, for your maximum opening, it is 6 millimeters. Now, I am able to take this open further than that. However, it does not roll. Both rollers will not roll if you have it open wider than that 6 millimeters. So 6 millimeters is really good for all of our mills that are out there. And that is what this one is. This mill happens to be the C130, which is a combo 130, but it also comes in a flat. So if all you ever needed to do is roll out ingots and sheet, then, or just texturing your pieces, then a flat mill is available as well. Now, one of the benefits of this is that I no longer have any of the safety concerns that might come with an electric mill. I don't have to worry about overloading it. I don't have to worry about a mill pulling me through or anything like that, because it is all in one and it's powered by you. The other thing that's really, really awesome about this is you don't need the manpower of a bodybuilder. Now, I am very strong, and everybody who ever works in my studio or with me knows that I'm very strong. But even my daughter Kiari, which you guys are all familiar with, weighs nothing and is not so strong, and even she can do this without any effort. Matter of fact, the name of the mill is Olivia. And who is Olivia? Well, Olivia is Olivia Durston. So she is actually the owner's smallest daughter, not only small, but her youngest. But she, again, weighs like 50 pounds. And over their 21 months development of this, she was able to do all of this with no effort whatsoever. Now, another thing that's kind of cool is that this is a rolling mill that I can do even sitting down. So obviously I'd have to sit over there, but I can roll around from my bench over to my mill, back over to my bench, and I don't even have to get up. So it increases my productivity time even with that. With the design of this, you no longer have to worry about if you have a bad back or disabilities, you can't get up, any of that, because of the ease of using this particular mill. So let's see how this works. Here I have a very thin cupcake wrapper, and I just have a 2-inch piece of metal. I just want a portion of this. So I'm just going to trim this down a little bit, and it's fine that it's a little larger than my piece. And then I'm going to roll this through. Now, to roll it through effectively, I'm also going to have some 140-pound watercolor paper that will help give me just a little more cushion. So the first thing I need to do is I need to set my gap for whatever my material is along with the item that I'm going to be rolling it with. So I'm going to back this out. And at this point, I should not yet have any kind of impression. However, my gap in my roller is now exactly this thickness. Now, because I do want to design, I need to tighten up my roller just a little bit, but I don't have to do it too much. And I'm also going to use the 140-pound watercolor paper to give a little bit of cushion, and that is going to help push my metal into that design a little bit better. So now I'm ready to get this in here. I'm just going to insert my metal right here, and I'm going to turn my handle just to get it going. And now I can go ahead and crank this, and it does not take much effort at all. And when I pull this off, I have a great impression on my metal. When you receive the mill, it is going to have some anti-corrosive and anti-rust agents on the rollers. So you'll want to take some time and get those cleaned off. One of the things that I like to do is I've taken a dowel that's probably about half an inch, and I'm just going to put some paper around it, the blue paper towels, the really thick ones. I find that those are the best. And then I'm going to bring this in here. I'm just going to start getting the mill going. And then I can let this go and just let it do its thing, and it will remove that for me. Now, I know that you can use a little bit of a mineral spirit, but you want to be very cautious about that just to help that dissolve a little bit. But really, I find that I like to just run it with my paper towel like this. And then when I'm done, roll it the other way, and it will come back out, and my rolls will now be much, much cleaner. When it comes to cleaning out the grooves for the wires, you will have to do those a little bit more individually. So I'll just take my thumbnail, put it into there, and again, roll the mill and let it do its job. For safety purposes, your mills should always be bolted to a nice secure station. So in my case, my table is actually mounted onto the wall, and that would be an appropriate place for my mill. You want to be very careful if you ever use anything like a rolling or one of the portable carts. Now, when it comes to maintaining your rolling mill, there are several different things that you're going to want to do. First and foremost, always you're going to want to maintain those rollers, and you're going to do that with just some 3-in-1 or a machine oil, and constantly kind of clean up your rollers. When you stop and you are done for the day, make sure there is always a little bit of a gap. Never store your rollers completely closed, or you might find that you have a nice little rust line along your rollers that you will never be able to get out. So take the time just to take that little bit of extra step. Make sure your rolls are just open a little bit. Run some oil through it on a paper towel, make sure everything is good to go. Also, if you're not going to be using it for long periods of time, I highly suggest you put some kind of a sheet over this. It just keeps it from having dust settle onto your rollers and getting embedded if you roll it without cleaning it first. I can't wait for you guys to see it, so make sure you stop by, see us at some of the different shows if you want to see it in person. If you'd like to order it now, I know that there are a few places that it's available, including the toolcandystore.com. So I'll include some links down in the description for you guys, make it easy for you to get to. If you have any questions, as always, drop them in the comment section. If you like my videos, thumbs up, subscribe, ring that bell, and I will talk to you guys next time. I'm gonna play. See ya.